Good day, Amherstburg. It's myself, Laura D'Alessandro.
And it's Ron Giofu from the Rivertown Times, back here on the airwaves of CKBG 107.9 The Berg for the Rivertown Times Weekend Review.
Maybe give everybody a behind the scenes here. Typically, we record this on Wednesdays. We're recording this on Tuesday, so we don't have anything that has come out of the council meeting that happened on Tuesday night. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet, right, Ron? So, but we will get that up and report it on the website. Council was changed from last night due to the election to Tuesday night, so things are kind of discombobulated there, and we're on the radio a day early, so that's why we're not discussing anything that happened at Council on Tuesday night.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll definitely be on top of what happens at Tuesday night in the council chambers, or by the time you're listening to it, it has already happened. We'll get the information reported on as quickly as we can.
Yeah, and I'm sure it'll be another long night for you tonight, Ron.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if I'll be up as late as I was last night, but at least it starts sooner. Last night, the polls didn't close till 9:30 p.m., and it was probably shortly after 1 a.m. by the time I sent everything off and got into bed, so...
Oh, my. Firing on all cylinders today. So Election Day has come and gone, and Conservative candidate from Essex County, Chris Lewis, is heading back to Ottawa for his third time.
Yeah, he won fairly handily. I believe he had about 57% of the vote, or so. At least that's what he had when we went to press. There was still one poll outstanding, but I mean, it's not going to change anything. So Chris is back for his third term. He's first elected in 2019 and 2021, and he's heading back to Ottawa once more. And early returns, the first few polls had it for Chris Sutton, the Liberal candidate. So there's a few us weekly newspaper media types hanging out, going, okay, where's Sutton at? We need to move. And I already had Fred Groves over at Sutton headquarters. So I was okay, but at any rate, the more the polls started coming in, the more they shifted conservative, and that certainly helped Chris Lewis. He's back for another term, and the party last night at the Michigan Diner in Essex, or I should say Monday night at the Michigan Diner in Essex, and he's not calling it bittersweet. Of course, the Liberals will form a minority government. But Chris is just he says it's an honor to serve. He'll do so with a smile on his face and a hop in his step, and he'll keep listening to the people and doing what needs to be done. And Chris Sutton ended up finishing second place. NDP candidate Lori Whiteman was in third, and Jason Henry from the People's Party of Canada was in fourth place. I echo what was said last night at the Lewis event, and just thank all candidates. I mean, it's not easy to put your name on the ballot. They did that. I think all four of them did a good job. Obviously, they have divergent political opinions, and that's okay. That's what democracy is all about. They stood behind what they believe in, and they ran a good civil race. That's civil being a word Chris Lewis used last night, or Monday night. I keep forgetting we're recording this on Tuesday. Yes, we have full details on page 1 of this week's issue of the Rivertown Times, and another story on page 2. So check it out in this week's RTT and on the website, www.rivertowntimes.com.
Thank you for covering all that you have with this election. It was kind of a whirlwind for the both of us when everything kind of got announced that we were heading back to the polls. So I know you put a lot of time and miles in the car covering everything. So thank you for that, Ron. I really appreciate it.
Thanks a lot. Hopefully there's a bit of distance between elections now, because we went basically from a provincial election into a federal election. So I know the municipal election's not until next October, so at least over a year for that.
It'll be here before we know it, though.
Exactly, yeah. With a minority government, well, we'll see how long it lasts, but hopefully there's a bit of a gap between the elections, and I and a few others in the business like me can maybe get a bit more rest and not have to worry about pounding the pavement, tracking down candidates.
That's right. This past weekend was also a busy one for folks in town and for you, Ron. Several events were held in town and around the county. One of them that kicked off, it was the annual Jane's Walk Festival that was held in town last weekend. This year, the walk highlighted several different things, but in particular, the history of the library and the Royal Canadian Legion, Fort Malden Branch 157.
Those are a couple of things that Fred Groves and I looked after in this week's RTT. There's other things. I know Meg Reiner and Kara Fokaringa from the Marsh Collection talking about industry in Amherstburg, and there's a lot of other talks as well go around the area. But I mean, we touched on just a couple of the topics in this week's RTT. It's on page 5 this week, so make sure you check that out. It was quite an extensive story, and so thanks to Fred for his work on that. And I know I wanted to check out the Legion as well. I'm a recently joined member, so I kind of wanted to check out the Legion and find out what they were up to. I know that part of it was Jane's Walks and Jane's Talks. Obviously, at Jane's Walk, you walk around various parts of the town and They explained some of the history. I know there was some artwork on display. Art Windsor Essex was part of it as well. Well, Jane's Talk, you get to come in, have a seat, and when somebody talks to you, it's a little bit easier for those who might have a bit of difficulty getting around. So it was an addition to the Jane's Walk Festival this year. I know the Windsor Tecumseh Jane's Walk is this weekend, so if you missed the Amherstburg one, don't worry. There's or should I say the Essex County one? Amherstburg was part of it, along with Essex, Colchester, Harrow, and some others were in the festival as well. Apologies to those I've missed. But Windsor Tecumseh is this weekend, so make sure you check that out.
The town marked Earth Day on Saturday with a tree planting and tree giveaway.
Yeah, it was a busy time. First started out with the tree planting up by Gulfview Park. A group of volunteers, or some members of council, town administration, and just members of the general public were out planting about 100 trees near the entrance to the, I guess, I'm not sure if it's got an official name. It's the settling ponds that they recently naturalized and made into trails and that sort of thing. The entranceway's got some more trees planted, about 100. About 5 or 6 different species of trees were planted. Again, we got a full story in this week's RTT. I was out taking pictures. I guess I had it easy. I didn't have to pick up a shovel, didn't have to move any dirt.
Oh, come on.
And didn't have to get my hands dirty too badly, I guess, unless there's gunk on my camera. But other than that, so then after that, I traveled on down to the Libro Center for the Map and Grow. It's at the town and the University of Windsor School of Environment team up. And they plant trees, and the university students go and map the trees, and over time, with the permission of the landowners, they go in and monitor the tree's progress, measure the tree canopy, and see how big they're getting, basically, and they're just kind of monitoring the health of those trees. I was actually kind of impressed by the number of cars that were lined up and getting their trees. They gave away about 200, and I guess, again, there was about 5 or 6 different species, and more details in this week's paper on what those were. So it was a busy morning and keeping the earth green. And
it didn't stop there. You went out to Briarswood Youth Camp. They hosted their annual Earth Day event on Saturday at the camp located at 6480 Texas Road. The weather maybe seemed to kind of keep some people away. It wasn't the best. Mother Nature didn't really agree with them, but they were still happy with the turnout and people that they had involved. Yeah,
it was a bit cold and blustery out, but they had a number of competing events but they made the best of it. Birdhouses, all kinds of stuff, and various different advice on how to keep the earth green and ways you can do it with solar power, and some cooking demonstrations, some hybrid vehicles, and just a variety of different events. They had some natural plants that were for sale, and they had a number of different things. They had some Phragmites clearing, and they have a pond at the back of the property. So in case you don't know, that's it's not a huge pond, but it's a nice little pond they have on the property. So they are able to use that for the kids when they're there for camping, and for the various summer camps and March break camps and whatever the weather permits.
Mm-hmm. And if you're interested in checking out Briarswood to see what they're all about, they're having an open house this Sunday, May 4th, from 10 to 2. Also, keeping in the mode of trees, it seems to be tree talk with Ron today. Essex Region Conservation Authority, ERCA, celebrated a big milestone last week when ERCA planted their 7 millionth tree at the Maidstone Conservation Area.
Yeah, I tracked out there, and again, it was a major milestone. Of course, the chair of ERCA this year is Molly Allaire, the Amherstburg councillor, and she was part of the group that planted the tree. And again, it's quite the milestone, I guess. As ERCA and a lot of community partners are trying to beef up the natural cover for the area. The goal is to get to at least, I believe, 12%. They want to get to 15%. And they're helping to do that through tree planting. I guess in addition to the 7 millionth tree, there was there'll be about 70,000 trees this year alone over the next six weeks being planted by ERCA. So again, it's all in an attempt to increase natural cover in the Essex region. I've never been to the Maidstone conservation area before, so it was a nice introduction to one of the natural beauties of the region. And again, full story on this week's RTT and on the web. And
you made ERCA's Instagram that day. I was watching. I'm like, hey, I know that back of that guy's head. It's Ron.
Yeah, a very distinctive bald spot going on, and able to pick me out. And again, and maybe if you angle my head in a certain way, speaking of solar power, you can maybe cook something with a reflection off my head. There's reflector ovens. Maybe I got a reflector head. I don't know, reflector scalp going on.
Oh, it's like an ant with a magnifying glass, like you're burning things.
I guess, yeah. Yeah, a lot of people when they're walking behind me have to put sunglasses on. I never figured out why, but maybe that's it, just to glare off my dome.
That's why your office is so hot. The sun comes in, beats right off your bald spot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's just I'm not getting any brighter. It's just the glare shining off my bald scalp.
Turning our attention to sports, it was the end of an era for the Amherstburg Minor Hockey Association. They held their final year-end banquet this year for travel players, and many acknowledgments and several Lifetime Achievement Awards were presented that day.
About 7 of them were handed out. Joe LaFramboise, Rosemary Fryer, Paul Tonietto, Dennis Emerson, Dan Pettypiece, Mark Reno, and Leonard Mayu were the recipients of this year's Lifetime Achievement Awards for their many, many contributions to Amherstburg Minor Hockey. It was wonderful to see these folks honored. They put in a lot of work, a lot of volunteer time. So great job to all 7 of them. And, of course, being a minor hockey banquet, they gave out some awards as well to the players. So it was a great evening. It's just celebrating the past, celebrating the present, and looking forward to the future. Of course, starting next year, there will be the Lake Erie North Stars. North Stars winning the Name the Team contest. So they'll be the North Stars next year. But make no mistake, Tri-Community Minor Hockey and Amherstburg Minor Hockey, they've got a lot of roots in this community, and they've got their contributions of those agencies and the people within them. And it won't be forgotten. It's they helped shape a lot of young men, young women into not only great hockey players, but great people as well. So, I mean, countless hours behind the scenes just coaching and managing, and not to mention playing themselves, and just all kinds of things that goes into presenting a minor sports organization. So we thank all those over the years that helped out with Tri-Community Minor Hockey and subsequently Amherstburg Minor Hockey. Again, your service is commendable, and great job at just helping out the youth of the community, and most, if not all of it, on a volunteer basis. So thank you, and looking forward to Lake Erie Minor Hockey next year.
Yeah, September will be here before we know it. Figure skaters from around southwestern Ontario took to the ice here in Amherstburg as Skate Amherstburg hosted Bring On the Fun competition that happened last weekend.
Yeah, it was over 2 days out at the Libro Center. I covered it on the Saturday and helped judge a poster contest on Sunday. They had, I believe, clubs from as far as Stratford out. It was kind of a low-pressure event. I mean, some of the competitions, I gather, are a little bit more strenuous and a little more stressful. This is just mainly go out, have a lot of fun.
Like a showcase, eh?
Exactly, yeah. This is kind of, okay, if you've never been in front of an audience before, here's your chance. Go out there, see what it's like, and check it out. So a few hundred skaters were in town, so on Rink B of the Libro Center. It was great to see them. A lot of smiles, a lot of happy people out there, and again, great job by Skate Amherstburg on your contributions, and I'm looking forward to next season. I believe the ice is coming out entirely of the Libro Center this week. It's already out.
Ask you that.
It's already out of the main pad, so pad B, I'm sure, is soon to follow.
It makes me sad.
Yeah.
I know it always comes back when it comes out. It's it's officially the end of hockey and skating season. But like we said, September will be here before we know it, right? So, okay, turning our attention to the weekend, the Gibson Gallery. They're starting their new exhibit for May. It's going to open on May 1st. The official exhibit opening will be May 4th from 1 to 3, and the exhibit this month is Moments in Time. So that exhibit grand opening is May 4th from 1 to 3, and the Gibson Gallery is located at 140 Richmond Street. The County Classic Chorale, they're back in action. They're doing presenting Just Sing, and it's going to be at the Harry United Church on Sunday, May 4th at 3 p.m. Harry United Church is located at 45 Munger Street in Harrow. There is an ad on page 15. Admission is just purely by donation, so no need to get tickets in advance or anything like that. The Freedom Museum, they're also hosting a chorale. It's the Nathan Dent at the All Saints Anglican Church on Saturday, May 3rd. So that's in the city. Tickets are $40. If you're looking for more information, you can visit amherstburgfreedom.org. And also the Miracle League. They're kicking off, or hitting, not kicking off, I guess. They're cracking their bats again for the first term of the season. First pitch is going to go out this Saturday at 10 a.m. and at the Libro Center. So as always, they're always looking for volunteers, for buddies, any way you can come out and help. And I don't know about you, Ron, but opening day at the Miracle League, I think it's the happiest place to be in Essex County.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's just, I always say if you go there and you're not in the greatest of moods, go to the Miracle League, because, I mean, it'll cheer you up really quick.
It's so fun.
It is, yeah. And you just seeing the smiles on the people's faces, just everyone's having a good time. It's not just kids, it's men and women with those with disabilities get out and just have some fun and have a good time and stay active.
Yeah.
So, again, 4 games as usual this Saturday, weather permitting, and the Miracle League back for the 2025 spring season.
And if you want more information to find out the list of events for the day or to volunteer, you can reach them at amherstburgmiracle.com. Anything else you want to highlight for the weekend, my friend?
That's all I can think of right now. I mean, we got a number of other things in the paper. Spring Fest, we got a marathon runner.
It was not Ron.
No, that's suffice it to say,
that would be a front page story.
Oh, yeah, I get tired driving 26 miles in my car. And so it most definitely isn't me. But, lots of stuff in this week's RTT. So pick it up on the newsstands in a newspaper box at one of our retailers or in a store in Essex, Harrow, Essex, or LaSalle. And shout out to our drivers, Ken and Louise. They go around every week helping us out and stocking up those boxes and shelves.
Also, next week will be our Mother's Day issue, so we're offering free color on any Mother's Day ads that you would like to be in that May 7th issue. That's going to be our Mother's Day issue. And I want to keep my streak alive. This will be 3 weeks in a row that I have a birthday announcement, specifically another man in my life, my 13-year-old son, Dominic Jr. D'Alessandro. Happy birthday, Bub. I can't believe you're 13. Oh my gosh, we have 3 teenagers in the house this year. So welcome to the club of teenagers. And I think it's going to be a great year for you. So happy birthday, Bub.
Happy birthday, Bub, and hope it's a great day for you.
All right, Amherstburg, take care and have a great week.
Have a great day, have a great week, and see you next week back on the airwaves at 12 noon and the replay at 4:30 p.m.